Are we at Islands of Adventure today to have Jurassic Park themed food? You bet Jurassic we are on this week's episode of the DIS Unplugged Universal Edition. Hello everyone, welcome to this week's episode of the DIS Unplugged Universal Edition. I'm your host, Craig Williams. I'm joined alongside by Ryno right now, who's manning the camera for me. And as I said, we are at Universal Islands of Adventure today to have some Jurassic Park themed food. This summer, Universal is celebrating the 30th anniversary of Jurassic Park. And because of that, they had a couple little snacks, little meals that they have placed in the Jurassic Park area of this park. And then we're gonna try one more thing too that we just haven't ever had before. So that way we can have like a nice little progressive meal out of all of this. So we're gonna get to that in a second. Before we do, I wanna remind you this is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel. If you like our content, you wanna support us, book a vacation through Dreams Unlimited Travel. It costs you no extra money and you get the support of one of the awesome Dreams Unlimited Travel agents. So head over to dreamsunlimitedtravel.com today for a free, no obligation quote. Now that too many people have come way too close to me and just made me very uncomfortable, I think it's time to head into the land and see what we're having.
We are starting our meal here at Thunder Falls Terrace. And the item we went with here, prehistoric Raptor wings combo, which is char-grilled chicken wings marinated with olive and spices, then tossed in a sweet chili sauce, served with cilantro lime rice, black beans, and a singular plantain chip. These wings are gigantic. These feel like they might have at least come off of a baby raptor, maybe a compsognathus, who knows, but they do look delicious. I, for one, love a sweet chili sauce, so I'm pretty psyched for this. I don't love chicken on the bone, though, so I'm gonna be that trash person who tries to, I just feel like I'm gonna end up having to just eat this with my hands.
Might not have it.
I'm not gonna have a choice, so it's gonna get messy, but I'm gonna do a little spread. Okay, I'm gonna go for this left part here. I am no expert wing eater, so it was a little bit of a messy endeavor for me to get to, but I will say this, the chicken is very tender. I'm gonna use a word I don't like using. It's juicy. Honestly, I feel like whoever put the sweet chili sauce on was kind of like me and was like, just dump it on. I'm fine with that. These very much remind me of something that like my mom would have made for like a party, a summer party or a Super Bowl party or something like that. So it's definitely giving me a little bit of that home feeling. But you know what? It's honestly, it's pretty decent. This price for this, though, just to go over that again, because I realized I forgot to say it. So it's actually $15.99 for the three of these, because I didn't say the price earlier, but you get 3 big pieces of the wings. There's a lot of the beans. I'm gonna scoop in a little bit. I'm just gonna go in and have a little scoop of the beans and the rice real quick, just to report back. When I think cilantro rice, I think Chipotle cilantro rice. I'm sure I'm not alone in that. This doesn't look super cilantro-y, which is better, because I don't like the cilantro rice at Chipotle. I know you can say it's just black beans and rice, but right now, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. This whole combo, I like it. Craig, I think you eat more wings than I do, so maybe you dig in here.
I do love a good wingy. Craigie love wingy. You know, usually I like smaller wings, not when they come all together like this, but honestly it's fine because it also showcases the fact that, you know, these wings were expertly grilled. And I like seeing those grill marks on there, that little bit of char, that's gonna add a little extra flavor to it on top of the sauce, which you are right, Ryno, these are definitely sauced well, but I also feel like they're not like too crazy with how much is on there. It seems like it's gonna be messy, but not like the messiest thing in the world. Oh man, though, that the skin is keeping it all together. Pull it apart there. Monster. You are right, this is like, oh my gosh. This thing is almost impossible to eat, but you know what? We have to eat it because when they come up with a menu item to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Jurassic Park, you don't say no. You just get it and you accept it. But yeah, here we go. These wings are decent. The chili sauce on it is very nice, a little sweet, but then spicy. And honestly, yeah, the grilling of the wings does add a little extra of that char taste that I was hoping for, and it delivered on that. You know, they're meaty wings, but I'm really struggling. I guess I'm very weak and not able to rip them apart like I normally would be able to. So I can't eat them like more traditionally like you would get at a lot of restaurants, but I mean the flavor's there nonetheless. I'm more of a wings as an appetizer guy, hence why it's the first part of this meal that we're experiencing today. But this is definitely a full size plate for a lunch option, heck, a dinner option. I mean, with how much meat is on this plate, plus the rice and beans, it's super heavy. I mean, 6 big wings with more rice and beans than you could ever possibly eat. So, I mean, kudos to them. At $15.99, they could charge a lot more for this, but they didn't. So, I'll just get a small taste of the rice and beans too, because why not? Ryno did. I will. I remember the last time we ate here at Thunder Falls Terrace, we were surprised by how delicious they were too, so hopefully they live up to my old hype. Beans are solid. The rice, I wouldn't really call it cilantro rice. You can't really taste it in there, but solid. Brings everything together on this plate. So we have a lot of meat to eat, and we'll see you at the next stop.
The next stop for us on our progressive meal is Burger Digs, and here we're getting a burger that's actually been around for a while, so it's not part of the 30th anniversary stuff, but we just never have gotten a chance to get over here and get it until today. We are changing that. We are getting the Casado Burger platter, right? Which is it's $17.49. It is a Costa Rican-inspired black Angus patty, sweet plantains, avocado, pork belly, garlic mayonnaise on a Raptor scorched brioche, or as we like to say, a barouche bun. I wasn't sure what casado meant, so I looked it up. And it's a Spanish word meaning married man. But it is a Costa Rican meal using rice, black beans, plantains, salad, a tortilla, and an optional protein source such as chicken, beef, pork, fish, and so on. This is from Wikipedia. And they say the term may have originated when restaurant customers asked to be treated as casados since married men ate such meals at home. And another theory is that the rice and beans or the grouping of the dishes are married since they're always together. So I'm still not really 100% sure where they got the name for it, but here we are. All that, it's got a pretty, it's going to be a gross description, but the pork belly on this thing looks like it is so thick, it's like a human tongue right there, hanging out right in the middle there. And then don't be fooled, that's not more pork belly. Those are sweet plantains right on the bottom there, but it does have the lettuce in here. I love a garlic mayo. I think I grabbed the bigger side by accident, which was not my intent, but my hands are on it now, so here we go. So the burger patty in here is pretty decently thick. The sweet plantains had a really nice sweetness to it. And the avocado tastes pretty fresh. I don't really get a lot from the pork belly per se, but I didn't, my piece was a little off to the side here, but the garlic mayo is not as garlic as I would like, because I am a garlic fiend, and I like to be burned by garlic like a vampire. And I will say this, even though this is a really thick patty, and a word I'm going to use for the second time in this video, a little juicy. I hate myself, but it still has that sort of flavorlessness to it. You know, I know we've talked about it on the show before, that this seems to be kind of a recurring thing a little bit, and the Universal Park specifically, and it does still kind of taste like that. So I feel like all I get is that kind of burger flavor right in the middle, and the other stuff is just little accoutrements kind of lost in the flavor palette here. But there is a toppings bar out there that you can add pickles to this if you want. There's barbecue sauce, honey mustard sauce, there's ketchup, there's hot sauce, there's mayo, there's all that stuff. I might add a little bit of toppings here, but I'd be curious to see what your feedback is on this one, Craig. Of course, because it is a platter, it came with fries. That's it. Feels like a lot for $17.49.
The burger patty on this burger is so thick that it almost makes me think that this was actually hand-formed and not just a frozen patty thrown on. I didn't see them making it, so it very well could be. If it isn't a frozen patty, you know, for a burger this thick, you would want it, like, for me, I would want it at like a nice medium, maybe even medium well, since we're in a theme park, you don't want to get sick. This thing is well done, but as Ryno said, you can still tell it's juicy. I did have a little bit of the pork belly, and it just melts in your mouth. When I sliced through it to cut this in half, it had no issues getting through there, so, you know, that's a great thing. I think texturally that this is going to fall flat because it's a bunch of mushy stuff all together, and it doesn't have the crunch. You know, the lettuce might have been able to have a little bit, but it's kind of wilted because of all the grease and stuff. Maybe an onion would have taken this to the next level. I'm not quite sure. I haven't even had it yet. Why am I already, you know, poo-pooing on it? But oh man, this is gonna be hard because the way I cut it, the plantain and the pork belly are both in the middle, so I'm gonna have to do a 2-biter on this one to get in there. But here goes nothing. The hard part about this burger is that it really just depends on where you're biting into it, on what the flavor profile is going to be. Like, if you bite the plantain, the only thing you're tasting is the plantain, that sweetness from it. If you get a big hunk of avocado in there, you're mostly tasting avocado. I did rip off a piece of burger just to try it by itself, and they did season the burger, but for how thick it is and the other ingredients on there, I don't think it was seasoned enough. They could have definitely, you know, amped it up a little bit if they wanted it to stick out a little bit more, but I really do think it was more about the other flavors. The pork belly sadly gets lost in this entire mixture because mostly of the plantains and the avocado. So there's a lot of great ingredients on here. I'm just, you know, in terms of married, I'm not sure if these are all marrying together well, or if they're fighting within the family. But it's not a bad burger, and honestly, I don't think it justifies the price, but, you know, it's definitely elevated for a theme park burger. But we'll keep eating it here, and then I think we'll move on to dessert after that, shouldn't we? We are finishing our meal off with dessert because, I mean, that's what you do. You've got to finish a meal off with dessert, clearly. And this is the coconut cajeta churro, a caramel-infused churro drizzled with coconut flakes and caramel sauce. And you can find this at Natural Selections. It's where you get the Jurassic World IPA, and, you know, there's other little food items there, plus this churro. And yeah, it was, the final price for this was $7.44, but I guess maybe it justifies it because it's a little bit of a specialty item. I'm not a huge fan of coconut like this. I love coconut flavor. I don't like the texture of coconut, but this is what we had to go with. So, you know, they're promoting it as part of the 30th anniversary specialty food, so you've gotta have this one. The other thing I will say about it too is at the booth, it is listed as a dulce de leche churro. So it was kind of confusing in that way, but all you have to do is ask questions and they'll explain it to you. And ooh, inside it is filled too. So you've got caramel on top, and then what looks to be like a different caramel sauce in there. That's because it's a little bit, yeah, it's got that creaminess to it. So I'm very, very excited to try this now, but I probably will hate it because of the caramel. Coconut. The texture of the churro matches the coconut so much that it's not actually bothering me that there's this much coconut on there. The caramelness of this is just so delicious. Might be blasphemy to say because I love a good Disneyland churro and their specialty churros. This might be the best churro I've ever had. I don't know, maybe I'm just in the hype of the moment. Maybe I needed that sweet pick-me-up. This is really good. Ryno, I'm very excited for you to try it.
I'm gonna hop on that bandwagon with Craig and say the same thing about coconut. Like, I don't mind the flavoring of coconut. It's just like that, like when it gets too flaky, I'm a little like, it tastes like I'm eating strings. But I've never had a Universal churro before, so this is a big moment for me. This thing, the stuff on the inside, this is like a must try if you're coming here. Like, I'm sure that's where like the sort of dulce de leche comes from. It's definitely got a flavor. The filling has a flavor reminiscent of butterbeer to me. So like if you strip the coconut and the stuff on the outside, they could have done something on top of this and then like made it a like a Wizarding World churro too, I think. But this is so good. And I was a little worried because it's super humid today and very damp, and that the churro was gonna be like stale, and it's still got a little bit of a crisp to it. Honestly, the texture of the coconut, I do agree with Greg, like with the churro, like it does something really nice. Like, I kind of wish we weren't sharing this. I wish this whole thing was my own, but while I am here talking about dessert, I feel like I should wrap up the entirety of our progressive meal here in the Jurassic Park area at Universal's Islands of Adventure. I think ranking them, this is like easily number one for me, but this is like a must get. The other two things are like, they weren't bad. I just, again, like I said earlier in the video, I think I don't normally eat like meat on the bone, but I enjoyed the chicken wings, and the burger was pretty decent. I just don't know that I'm gonna remember them as affectionately as I remember this churro. So for me, this is number one. I'd say I'd count backwards maybe. Just because for me, the wings, like the Raptor wings, they were a little too messy for me. I don't like getting sticky and messy, and so it's just a preference thing, but I did still like all the flavoring there. The burger, again, like, it was a shame that I felt like it didn't all come together super well, but it wasn't like a bad burger. It just was kind of expensive. But this baby right here, this is the sweet spot. So this is the must try if you can get it while you're here.
The pre-tax price on the churro was $6.99, and I know that might seem excessive. I actually think it was really worth it. And honestly, for everything we had today, I thought it was all worth it. Yeah, it got expensive, you know, because after the first thing was $15.99 and then $17.49 plus 7. So, you know, we're up around $40 when it's all said and done. But for both of us, take that, slash it in half, $20 each for what we ate. I'm very full. I'm very satisfied. Honestly, I loved the flavor of the wings. They were just way too messy for like a theme park day. You've been touching stuff, even if you wash your hands, like it's still kind of getting that grimy feeling around here. So while they were delicious and, you know, very hearty, I just think that maybe it wasn't the best presentation of how they could, you know, have those wings. And then for the burger, I said with it, while the flavors didn't all mold together for me, if someone wanted to come and eat at Burger Digs, I would not turn that down again. I would have it. You know, it's fun. Again, like the wings, it was very hearty. It just, you know, it worked for me. And the churro, we can't say enough good things about the churro. Churro was just so gosh dang good, and I absolutely loved every little bit of it. But in terms of Jurassic Park and the 30th anniversary, you know, they're going to be celebrating it all summer, but Jurassic Park's always here at Universal Islands of Adventure, so you can always pop over and hang out in Jurassic Park, get your fix of Jurassic Park, Jurassic World. And, you know, if you are coming this summer and you want more than just like the churro, you want more sweets, over at the Tribute Store, they have a whole selection of little goodies that you can try too. So in both parks right now, you can really get that, you know, Jurassic Park fix. And it's a big summer blockbuster, and I feel like today, this was a big summer blockbuster. 65 million years in the making. Boom. Now, I'm joking, I'm done. I have no more jokes in me, so that's going to do it for this episode of the DIS Unplugged Universal Edition. If you liked it and you want to support it more, you know, subscribe to the DIS Unplugged on YouTube. Make sure you leave comments, questions, video suggestions, and hit the thumbs up. Subscribe wherever you listen to the DIS Unplugged Universal Edition if you're a podcast listener, and leave us ratings and reviews when possible. And if you want to support us more, book a vacation through Dreams Unlimited Travel. Get a free no obligation quote today at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch and listen. We truly appreciate it. We appreciate you, and we will see you again real soon with another episode of the DIS Unplugged Universal Edition. Until then, remember, we still haven't changed the name.